Howdy, howdy, howdy. Thank you all for joining me tonight and welcome on this wonderful Sunday evening. Here it is March 24th, 2024. We are a week away from Easter. And this being one of my normal Sunday nights, we got to start this off the right way. So let's bring in our old pal, Clearwater Chad. How
Howdy,
we doing
Poe.
tonight, Chad?
Good. How are you, Poe?
Doing real good. Where's that weather report?
Alrighty, here we go, Poe. Let's get right to work. 33 degrees in Clearwater, Buffalo. 0% precip, Poe. The wind is at 10, and Roscoe advises it's 48% humid, Poe.
That daggone Roscoe, I tell you. Yeah, he's down there. You should have seen when I walked. Folks, before we start these live streams, we always spend probably about a half hour, Chad, sitting here talking, just catching up with everything. And I'd gotten up to get my coffee because they finally had them back in stock. And so when I walked out, Roscoe's ball was right there in the hallway, and I kicked it down the stairs. And you would have thought that it's like something out of a movie where you see something go by and all of a sudden you see something grab it and pull it back. That's how it looked. Though he's pretty much out of it. Chad, last weekend when we were down in Clearwater, one of the things that really I got a great kick out of was how many people were demanding that Chad do weather updates from Clearwater, Florida.
That's true. I was glad to do it, Poe.
But I thought it was great how many people were wanting to see those. Yeah, let's see here. We got a lot of people in tonight. I want to say howdy to everybody. And Bonita Hopkins, so awesome. We are all here early waiting for Poe. And that's because it brings the relevant truth, power, and love for the precious people entangled by Church of Scientology and passion to guide all to freedom. I don't know if I'm that good of a guide, but I can certainly try. All I can do is I try to be honest and try to give you a straightforward answer of what I believe. But who am I? I'm just an old.
Can I interject, Poe? Can I interject? Poe's
ahead,
being modest. We were at a restaurant and we're getting ready to have lunch with Matt Cox, and Poe helped a lady out in distress, and that's just the kind of guy he is. Didn't hesitate at all. Just jump right in there.
Oh yeah, the lady she was an elderly lady. She had fallen. I forgot about that. Yeah, and yeah, she was a bit embarrassed and she didn't want anybody helping her up. And, I just told her, I said, look, hon, I said, I've been there. I said, my body's been absolutely broken in many pieces. And I felt the same way you do, but there's nothing wrong in accepting help from people that want to give it to you. So that was it was nice that, she turned and looked at me and she just says, thank you. So yeah, I'm that's just who I am. Someone falls, like that, you have the clearly an elderly woman who's not in very good physical condition. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be there and help out. Weather in Michigan, it's been so weird here. We are into the low 20s, into the teens at night. Then we're getting into the 40s and 50s during the daytime. So yeah, it's kind of strange how it's been going. All right, folks. I know that originally this was going to be a celebration for Liz Ferris, and Liz had notified me that Aaron had given her the assurance, the guarantee that his new foundation was going to be taking care of her DSR treatments and all that. And we were going to change it into from a fundraiser to a big celebration for Liz. And I know Liz hasn't been feeling good, and she notified me last night she just wasn't going to be able to do this. So that's why this, it's kind of last minute, but I did what I could to try to get this together. And I think last night's live is a clear indication of how things are going right now in the SPTV world. There are clearly, it seems like there are factions that are building. And it almost feels like there is an honest attempt by one side to try to divide us all. And that's something that I really have a problem with, because, you have all these folks that they need to make some reparations to the SPTV community. They need to be honest. They need to be open. They need to, just let people know, hey, this is what's going on. This has happened. These kinds of things have happened. but they're just keeping quiet about anything. Then you have one that every time this person seems to open their mouth, then it becomes another crap show. Then you have those of us who are on the other side, that our main goal is that we just try to help people. We try to keep the SPTV movement going forward, but we're the kind of people that we don't just see things happen and not say anything. And thank you for bringing it up, Chad, because that really it really plays into what, you know, how I am. All right, I see something that isn't right, and I'm going to either speak out or I'm going to do something. In the case of that lady, of course, I got over there and helped her up and got her back on her feet and got her on her way. In the case of, you have someone like Miriam, who is in need of this DSR treatment but is being refused. She has been victimized her entire life, and now it continues even though she's out of this cult. I'm not just going to stand around and say nothing. I'm not going to stand around and just watch. I'm not going to stand around with just having my phone out and taking pictures or video of stuff. I'm actually going to be involved. And so then when I hear statements about, and I brought it up last night, where the statement had been made, there are those who do and there are those who comment. Well, that's pretty interesting, because I comment and I do. Like I said last night, I walk the walk. I don't just talk the talk. And Chad, you're another example of that. I mean, you make comment, you do parodies of Scientology, of certain people in Scientology and things like that. And you don't get, but you're right there with the rest of us in Clearwater protesting Scientology. You lost your voice because you were yelling so much. I mean, how did that feel to you hearing that comment? There are those that comment and those that do. How'd that make you feel?
Right. Well, like you said, Paul, it's not us. We're the ones, we walk the walk and talk the talk, both of us, like you said.
But, the thing is that one of the things I also want to point out is those who are commenting are doing. They're exposing what's going on with this organization. They are taking the fight to them. So just because you're behind a camera or a microphone, but you're not out on the streets, doesn't mean you're not doing anything. You're still getting the voice out, and you're still making sure people know about this evil organization that has destroyed so many lives. And I think that it really starts to, and again, I'm going to steal one of Maryland's things, and I'm going to say this burns my biscuits. It ticks me off. And I know there's a lot of people in here. I don't want to miss everybody. I saw Sarasota Jerry was in here, Dip Me in Glitter, Kareen, Paula Candeloro, my good buddy Dave from Surin, Thailand. Or are you not in Surin this day as Mr. I got two houses in a family in Thailand? So let's see. Mona Englert. Bat Goat's here. What's up, Bat Goat? I saw Chitza from Balahama was here. Oh, wait a minute. Got to do a KR. All right. Got Farrell Cheryl, Captain Cheryl's in here tonight.
We met her in person too. Yep.
I was calling. Did you hear me calling her Steamboat Cheryl?
Yeah.
Because that's the first time I'd seen her in that hat. Joel McCoyne, who is an absolutely awesome member of the channel here, been here a long time. He gets around all the channels, shows so much love and support. It's hard to think that maybe the AF Aftermath bunch, for lack of a better way to call them, do seem to want to keep the stuff going. Why comes to mind? Absolutely, Joel. That's what I don't understand. For folks who keep making the statement of we need to focus on ending Scientology, why not do the thing that needs to be done to unite everyone?
Yeah.
Definite trouble source. Render has done nothing lately, resting on his laurels as a whistleblower. He is commenting, not doing. I agree with that. I wonder how he feels about that being considered a keyboard warrior then, wouldn't he? Isn't that one of the things that was said? As keyboard warriors and all that stuff, Scientology off the rails. So basically, MR insulted all the audiences, including his own, because without the viewers, where would he be? Yeah, and I want to make it clear. Some folks actually got upset with me over pointing out the fact that I think Render has done some amazing things. I do. And I pointed it out, and someone actually got with me in chat and said, hey, why are you defending him? And why are you saying? I'm like, how am I defending him? I'm calling him out on things that I see that I don't agree with. And they're like, yeah, but you keep saying things like he did this, he did that. And I said, yeah, he did. And just like I said last night in the comment in the live last night, it's so sad to see that what is happening now is overshadowing the things that he did previously. And but I want to point that out. Without Mike, without Leah, without Aaron, a lot of us would not even know about these channels. A lot of us, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for Aaron, and I wouldn't have found Aaron if it wasn't because of Leah and the aftermath. So yeah, I mean, I that's how I feel. What do you think,
And
Chad?
I wouldn't even have a channel because Aaron's the one that gave me the character Clearwater Chad.
There you go. And like I said, I found Aaron through the fact of Leah and Mike had the Fair Game podcast after the Aftermath show. And then when that ended, I came on YouTube looking, and that's how I came across Aaron Smith Levin. And I was just like, yep, there we go. Let's see. Tennessee Jenny commenters are also the same people that are giving hard-earned money absolutely to help others escape and get on their feet. And by the way, loving the fur baby there. Not only that, I mean, there a lot of people, whether or not some of the people that are blowing now are, whether or not we're hearing it or not. How many of them do you think are tuning into the SPTV stuff and they're realizing, hey, there is hope out there? And I can't wait till Aaron's foundation is all set to go and they put it out and they're out there and in the public and ready to go with things. So I can start announcing, hey, if you need to get out, go see Aaron. That's the thing. Kareen. Oh, and I see you quadrupled down with all of the fur babies on there. And I know that one looks like a seal. All right. Yep. This is my new equipment for everybody. I was talking about it last night. This is the new Rode microphone, the podcast mic that was gifted to me by one of my awesome channel members here. And like I said, that person wishes to remain anonymous. I would love to be able to, put their name out there, but I agreed I wasn't going to do it. But yeah, this is the new equipment, and I'm using the new mixer board to pipe it into the computer. So let me look down here. I know there's a lot of comments and stuff. May the force be with you. Mike Renders thinks our donations are what? Not contributing. I have zero tolerance for the amount of his insults and ignorance or intentional stupidity. May the force be with you. Don't hold it back. Let it out. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I agree. I think that each and every one of you, if you're just watching this content, you are helping. Why do I say that? Because in the back of your mind, it's there. You're thinking about Scientology. You think about what's going on. And before you know it, you're going to have conversations with people. And then you're going to start commenting in the actual chat in these videos and such. And you're helping that way. So don't think that if you're not up here as a presenter or you're out there on the street like Streets and Confident Chris and Chris without a, what was it? Chris without a what?
Hellcat?
Chris without a Hellcat. That's the one I was thinking of. Or Lori Plays, who, by the way, will be on with me tomorrow night. If you don't have to be that. Being here, showing the support, being part of this community, you are doing something. So it doesn't matter if you're a commenter or you're a doer. You already are doing. By the way, folks, Kareen, how does it sound with this new microphone? I think it sounds pretty good. What do you think, Chad? This might
It
sound
sounds
pretty
great. It sounds great, Poe. But didn't
Okay.
getting back to Rinder, didn't we nurse him back to health like a baby bird with our donations?
I believe that I gave a bunch of money, and I know other
Me
people
too.
gave a bunch of money, and we were part of a Chadathon to
Yep.
help raise money for him.
Yeah. So he should be very thankful.
So does that make you a commenter or a doer, Chad? Because all you did was sit on that live stream and talk.
I
So
know,
that would
right?
make you a commenter,
Giving
right?
weather reports. I know.
Yeah. Mastiff Mom Missy. Maybe it's just me, but the more rendering companies speak, the less relevant they come. They honestly have nothing of substance to say. One of the things that I've said many times in the past, and I follow it through to now, is I'm getting tired of hearing about Maverick, Tommy. I'm getting tired of hearing about, and this is really going to date me, Saturday Night Fever, Mr. Johnny Travolta, or Battlefield Earth John Travolta. I'm getting tired of hearing stories about when they were doing this 20 years ago and all that stuff. Tony Ortega just had something that just came out where he was showing John Travolta and I believe it was Elizabeth Moss at the 113th birthday celebration. Amazingly, now if Farrell Cheryl, do you remember seeing either Travolta or Elizabeth Moss come in there? And I don't remember seeing any helicopters coming in. Chad, you see anything like that?
No.
I'm just wondering, was one of them in that daggone Ferrari that came through, or the Bentley? So, Sir Crepitus, doing comes in many forms. Supporting Scientology critics is doing. Donating to the Aftermath Foundation or Aaron's Foundation is doing. Some people just like to complain. Absolutely. You know what? We all know people like that all they want to do, there is nothing ever positive in what's going on with them. And the only way that it feels like the only way they feel better is when they're criticizing other people or they're trying to point out the wrongs of other people. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that, and like I said, you don't have to be out there boots on the ground. How many people do we have that are part of the SPTV community physically can't do that? All right. So you're going to say because someone physically can't, because they've lived a hard life and their body is not in the best of shape, that's their fault for it? I mean, are we going back to the degraded people mentality about things like that? I know that's how you feel, Chad, but I don't. No, I
don't feel it.
Oh, and did you see Dustin Fountain Avenue's in here tonight?
Oh,
thank you for joining us, Dustin. Let's see here. Laura Flynn. Mike Render is very condescending. He doesn't have any humility, and that turns people off. He thinks that if he gets any criticism at all, it means people are against him. Well, one of the things that absolutely, and I heard Marilyn talking about this and how disgusted she was in the latter portion of that interview with Render, which, like I was saying last night, it didn't seem like an interview. It seemed more like two pals that were reading off a script and having fun. It was like they were rehearsing a play, because in between they're laughing and joking and just having a good time. But it seemed too scripted to me. It didn't seem like it was an honest, off the cuff kind of interview. And Chad, you know yourself, when I interview someone, I don't like to look into their background or their history. I want to hear it directly from them so I can react to it. And, so for me, that's a point that I take very, when I see that and it seems so scripted and it seems like it just doesn't feel real to me. How'd that feel to you?
Right. No, it didn't. They felt like they were just two buddies talking.
Yeah. Let's see, Louise. Mike Render seems stuck in hate towards Aaron Smith Levin. I agree with that. I think it may be down to ego. People think Aaron Smith of Aaron before they think of him with the new gen of COS protests, and not him. He would have been asked. He would have been asked on TV, etc. prior. And I think that may be some. There have been more than a few people who've come across and have said that it appears as though he is jealous of Aaron. And these are people that know the both of them, because, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I know Aaron. I don't know Mike. I've never been on a buddy basis with him that I could just call him up and go, hey, I don't have his number in my phone. I don't know how to get in touch with him. And quite honestly, if we were on that kind of level, I'd have been calling him out person to person. I've been like, WTF, man, what's going on with this stuff? But I'm not on that friendly kind of level. But I know Aaron. I know how Aaron operates. And, a lot of people, they say some of the same things. They say Aaron seems arrogant or, very self-centered, selfish and all that. I can tell you, Aaron helps out so many people. It's not even funny. And he's always willing, if someone's got a channel and they're doing content, they want to, they're trying to pick up viewers for their channel. Aaron will be like, hey, send me something over and I'll throw it into one of my lives and I'll make sure everybody knows about it. So Aaron he's good people and he helps out a lot of people. So, and that was my thing, was Aaron had helped me out. So I'm very big about pay it forward. So, and then I pass it on to that guy there. And what are you doing with it?
Right. And like Poe said last stream, Aaron showed us around. He was very charismatic. He was just as good of a guy in person as he is on YouTube, guys.
Gave us both big hugs. Really,
Yep.
It felt authentic.
Yep.
No, there was no presence about him other than my friends are here. That's how I felt when we caught up with Aaron. And then when we all finished up for the night, Aaron came over and gave each of us a big hug, and it really felt like a friend giving you a hug. So,
yeah.
Melody, I'm a proud keyboard warrior, and you should be. And apart from words of encouragement, I do nothing. You don't even have to be here. The simple fact that you're here proves where you stand. Yep. But I'm subscribed to 250. That's a lot of channels now. And over 100 of those will be SP creators. And I always hit like. See there, I mean, you are doing something. All right. You're watching the content, you're seeing what's going on, and you're engaging. When you hit that like button, that does so much to help each and every one of the channels, folks. Mike Renner has done 100 videos on his channel compared to Aaron, who has 1.5 thousand videos. Who is putting in the work? Well, I'll tell you this. Let's see. I've got 334, and I can tell you this: when you do these lives, these numbers pick up real quick. Chad, have you noticed that?
Absolutely.
That there's a big difference in doing the edited content, because when I do edited content, I'll film for an hour, 2 hours, and then I will spend 8 to 20 hours editing it. And I'm real basic in how I do my editing. I don't do a whole lot of crazy stuff. So I can tell you that with these lives, I can literally jump in. I send a link over to Chad. He jumps into the live as well, or I send it to other people. And we get on here and we just let it roll. And that's the thing. It's a lot easier to build that content up real quick if you're doing a lot of, go ahead.
I don't know if anyone could tell, but on my videos, folks, I don't do any editing. Everything's a first draft like LRH, so it's pretty rough.
Let's see here. Jehovah's Witness Apostate. Can you have Miriam on so you can interview her? Miriam and I have been talking back and forth. Let's remember the first things first. Right now, Miriam is getting her DSR set. She's going to be going in and getting her DSR. She's doing all of her pre's. You have to do a lot of pre-procedure stuff that she's got to get done. So she's going through a lot of that, but she and I have been talking back and forth. And when she's ready, I'll get her here. I'll get her here on the channel. But I'm going to hit it with kid gloves. I'm not going to force Miriam. I'm not looking to make her cry. I'm not looking to make her emotional. It's going to be one of those times where I'm going to be compassionate and empathetic about what's going on. But when Miriam's ready, Miriam will be on here. I don't force anyone to be on my channel. I don't rush them into it, except for Lori Plays, who deserves it for losing her voice out there singing last night. Let's see, Bat Goat. You know what? I'm not going to burn his book that I bought. To act that hateful to Mike is wrong. There you go. I so wanted. I never got the time to do it, but I wanted to order one of the autographed books. And even in this situation now, that book would sit right there behind me on the shelf there. I wouldn't be I wouldn't be I'm still upset about a lot of things that are happened. But the thing is that I wouldn't be acting it out on him or on that book. I would still treasure that book and I'd read it. I'd be pretty upset about seeing that name that's at the end, that's in the credits and the thank yous for everything. And now that we know those things about it, especially hearing it from Mike Brown, those that would really that I'd be pretty upset about. But the rest of it, getting that autographed edition would have been pretty cool. So as we're going forward in this, folks, we've got to pay attention to what people are doing, what people are saying. I mean, we know that one person who does nothing but hit pieces on everybody in SBTV. We see him doing it time and time and time and time again. Did one on me. And the thing is that I watched 5 minutes of it and I already got bored hearing about myself. But the fact is that that's just one aspect. There are others out there. You have people that are part of an organization that are supposed to be helping those who are coming out of Scientology, that are actively going into chats and saying derogatory things about people in the chats. But yet you're supposed to be someone that is a direct contact person to get help from this organization. All right. And then you have comments being made. We're all supposed to be fighting Scientology. We're all supposed to be calling for the end of Scientology. Why are you pointing out things that are being done that are wrong? We should all be working together, not fighting with each other. Well, the thing is we wouldn't have to call these things out if you weren't doing it. Forcing someone to sign a waiver that basically gives absolution on every level for anyone. It's almost like anyone who has ever said the name of this foundation is therefore held harmless. That's the way it feels. And then to say that it's basically, it's for all eternity and irrevocable. That, how much does that sound like a billion-year contract that people have to say? And then on the top, on top of it, not just for the fact that it's for eternity, but the fact that it is irrevocable, meaning that no matter what you do, you can never fight it. And that's those are the kind of terminology that really get in there, and they hold people in a lot of situations, like the fact of, if you have an actual complaint against Scientology, you have to go through Scientology's board of evidence, or whatever they're calling it, whatever arbitration name they're giving it, and those kinds of things. But the fact is that here it is, we have these things going on, and why are you mirroring what's happening in Scientology? If we're really fighting against Scientology, why are you mirroring a lot of the tactics and tricks that they use? Makes no sense to me. All right, we're supposed to be fighting against this organization. We should all just be getting along. So we're supposed to ignore when we see wrong. I thought the whole thing is that part of the whole SPTV thing was calling out when we saw things that were wrong, that were harming people, that were putting people in situations where they didn't feel safe. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? And if we're doing that, and we have people within our own inner circles, all right, these things didn't become public till attempts to try to take care of them in the background, out of the public eye, were either ignored, or they brought about what people felt was an attack on them. So none of this would be out here in the public face if things had been handled in the background like they were talking about in the first place. Why are we doing this out in public? All it's doing is splitting up the community. You're the one who had the ability to stop this. Why didn't you do that when you had the opportunity? And why is it now, when all this is being brought out into the light, instead of accepting it, or at least acknowledging it, and then trying to make the right things happen, you're doubling down and saying that the very people who are calling you out for it are trying to cause rifts within this community, and that we're attacking people in the community, and we shouldn't be doing that. All right. How about the fact that the new bylaws say you can't say anything negative about anyone who is in the fight against Scientology, But yet you have people that are in positions within that organization saying negative things about people who are fighting Scientology. I believe that's called hypocrisy. All right. And that's not something that you do when you are supposedly a benevolent organization that is there for nothing more than to help people. Doing that kind of stuff makes you look like you're back in Scientology as one of the executives who, as Liz Ferris said when she was on here, and other people have said, if a certain person who has another channel that is on a board of an organization, if they heard that that person was coming to their org or to their mission or where they were at, if they heard that that person was coming there, then they knew that there was trouble. And I believe one person made the comment, heads are going to roll. And they were terrified of finding out that person was there. So why are you, if you're supposed to be fighting Scientology, why are you using the same tactics that you used when you were in there? All right. Don't act like you're this benevolent person that is out there doing all this great stuff. And of course, how many times do we get it shoved in our face, all the good that are people that they claim they're doing? It's constantly being shoved in our face. We did this, we've done that, I've done this, I've done that. Yes, we understand that, we acknowledge it, but that doesn't clear you or give you the right to harm people now. If you supposedly did all these things to help people, you can't come back now and revert to those Scientology tactics where you're harming people. You're not a benevolent organization. If you're doing those kinds of things, you can't claim you're there to help people. Chad, you want to take over for a minute? Because I see I'm getting a little bit warmed up here. So
Here's the thing, Poe. How's everyone doing tonight? Let's let Poe get a drink. Poe, I agree with Poe 100%.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, man, that A&W root beer. Creepy old, and I'm not sponsored by A&W. I just like it. So creepy old lady comment. I just checked the social blade for both MR and BFG. Both are hemorrhaging views and subs, especially MR. The constant Tom Cruise videos on BFG are probably an attempt to maintain the numbers. Well, I mean, let's think about it. Maverick Tommy there, he's without a doubt one of, if not the biggest name in Hollywood. And the thing is that they know, everybody knows, you do something about Tommy and you put it up into the title for your video. You put a hashtag Tom Cruise in there, hashtag Maverick, hashtag Top Gun. That draws people in. People are automatically going to come see it because they want to see what's going on. And anybody who's big and famous like Tom Cruise and looked up to the way that Tom Cruise is, and let's be honest, folks, it doesn't matter how you feel about Scientology in the secular world, the non-religious world, a lot of people love Tom Cruise. So, and anytime with someone that big, if there's something that's negative being said about them, that's going to draw even more people. So, and that's just the way of the world, and it's the way it's been a long time. Let's see.
I like Tom Hanks, not Tom Cruise. I don't know if anyone is with me in the chat about that.
I don't know. Since he and his wife decided to move to Greece, that kind of rubbed me wrong. You know, it seemed like, you know, it's good enough for everybody else to pay taxes in this country. Why are you moving to Greece?
Oh, I didn't know about
that's the feeling I got out of it. Batgoats, same tactics. We know this. Truth, Poe. Thank you, sir. Rather be in Maui, and there's many times I wish I was. I wish I was back in Clearwater right now. Remember, Scientology says attack, never defend. King of Osa, Mike Render, knows the playbook. And again, I you know what? Last night I got so heated up. I put some calls out to some people, and I'm trying to get receipts in of actual documents that were, you know, directed from Mike Render with his little moniker on the bottom of them. And somebody goes, how do you know if that was Mike Render or Marty Rathbone? Well, it's by the office that it comes from. That's where that's going to tell you is the actual position where this is sent out from. That's going to tell you where that's coming from. So that's something big for that. Dreamscape. Render always wants to be the power guy. He was the top of OSA. Now he wants to be the best ex-Scientologist ever. He forgets that there are different rules in the free world. Not just that. It's the simple fact of once you get out here in the internet realm, things are completely different from even regular society, because people will come on the internet and they'll say things on the internet that they would never say to someone's face in real life. So you get out here and you get into the internet world. I mean, you look at me when I'm sitting here and I'm telling the truth and I'm bringing receipts of things I got to say. I still got people who are trying to call me out and trying to say crap about it. Thank goodness for my amazing mods, Miss Sunrise Dawn, Laura Waldy, Gary Mackey. And Laura Waldy and Gary were my first two mods, and absolutely awesome. They're over on your attorney friend Zach Morgan's channel as his mods there. And then Miss Sunrise Dawn works with Marilyn Honig and a few other channels. So I knew I had some great mods coming in. So make sure you show some love to the mods tonight. Let them know it's appreciated. They come on and they do this pretty much like me. I'm not making any money off this. Okay. And you know, so they're coming in, they're volunteering, and they're helping out, and it's awesome to have people that I know I can count on. Just a Northern Girl, Poe coming in hot. Hell yeah, I haven't even begun to get. I just started getting warm. We're too early in for me to start the blowing the top just yet. Chad, are you doing artwork for us?
Oh, I was writing down my notes about the Mark Turi thing, because I gotta get.
Oh, okay.
I forget. I got the brain of a goldfish, post. I got everything down.
I would like folks put it in the chat there in the comments. Would you like to see Chad go back to start doing the artwork? I kind of miss that stuff, the palm trees and all that. So
yeah, let us know.
Let us know. Amy N, they left the cult, but the cult never left them. Yeah, I mean, I talk about it all the time. There's a photograph of me in Japan where I went fishing. I'm gonna try to find that because it's hilarious. And my daughter took the photograph of me sitting there fishing in Japan. And when she posted it on one of her social media things, she, you know, she's young, so she's got like 5 bazillion different social media things that she gets into. But she posted it on there, and one of her friends said, "You can take the boy out of the South, but you can't take the South out of the boy." And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not even going to try to argue that one. It's the same thing. It's just like the military. Oh, I found it. There we go. But yeah, this is hilarious because this photograph was taken. When was this? March 31st of 2019 in Tokyo, Japan. They had this place where you went and it's literally like off the side of the river, and the fish come in because there's all the food in the water there, and you can fish. You know, people were keeping, I was just catching and releasing, but you know, literally, you know, my daughter puts it up on one of her social media pages, and immediately her friend's like, "Yep, you take the hillbilly out of the South, but you can't take the South out of the hillbilly." So that's for sure. There you go. Mischief Managed. Really sick of watching them break their own rules of conduct. And like I said, in a previous stream where I was talking about the fact that Aaron was no longer part of the Aftermath Foundation, you know, one of the things that they said was they were looking at things that he had done, things that he had been involved in. Some stuff was not recent at all. But if we held them to the same standards, how many of them would still be on there? You're not allowed to talk negatively about anyone who is in the fight against Scientology. Well, what about the emails, the lies? And all you got to do is look at Marilyn's channel if you want the receipts on that, because the proof is in the pudding right there. You know, there were lies told about Marilyn Honig. And if there was someone who did not deserve that, Marilyn and Duncan Honig are two upstanding people that tell the truth. You know, yeah, Marilyn has a huge heart and she wears her heart on her sleeve. God bless her for it. Okay? Because there aren't enough people out there nowadays that are willing to show that emotion. There aren't enough people who have a heart big enough to have it hurt the way that Marilyn's been attacked and the way she's been hurt. So, you know, to come out and literally lie and then have Marilyn come out and bring the receipts to prove that she was in the right the whole time. That's, you know, why is that not being held accountable? Why is it that, you know, suddenly you have John Atack is on the board of the Aftermath Foundation, and then you have this interview with Mike Render, and one of the comments that Render had made was people doing things for clicks. And if they, if they're doing it for clicks, then why was that interview originally put on only for Patreon members? You got to pay to be on Patreon. You don't just get it for free. So who's getting paid for what? Who is doing it for clicks? Who's doing it for monetization? Like I've said a million times before, I don't care if Aaron makes money off of YouTube. I don't care if Chad makes money off of YouTube. That's more power to them. Okay. We're out here, we're doing this day after day after day, night after night. All right. So if someone makes some money off of it, I'm really happy to see them get ahead. I am. I have no qualms whatsoever. I wish that my channel was big enough that it could actually start making money like that. But I'm not going to hate on anybody for the fact that they did. I'm proud to be friends with Aaron. I'm proud to be friends with some of these other folks that are making money on their channels. And you know, and that's the thing for me is I'm not gonna be upset that someone is actually making money off something they love doing. And that's one of the things I really love coming on here, and I love sharing with this community and the chats that we have and all that. Chad, you see who was here?
No. Who? Oh, hey, Lori.
Lori Plays is here. Then you better have that voice back tomorrow. All right. You better have that voice, Lori. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, I am so far back, so far behind. Let's see here. All right. Jennifer Miller, thank you for that super chat. OG seemed to want a Vegas policy. What happened in Scientology stays in Scientology. They want a hall pass on the wrong they did. They only want to focus on those still in, ignoring past abuses. I agree with that in some parts, but you know, it's what happened in Scientology stays in Scientology unless it's a good story you can tell on your channel, is the feeling I get. You know, but I agree with wanting the hall pass on wrongs that were done and only want to focus on, but you know, again, this is a part where I kind of disagree with that. It's not just focusing on those that are still in, it's talking about those that were in and talking about things that they did 30, 40 years ago. That's something that, like I said before, I'm so sick and tired of. I'm tired of hearing about Kirstie Alley. I'm tired of hearing about Tom Cruise. I'm tired of hearing about John Travolta. You know, unless it's something recent. I don't want to hear about something that happened 20 years ago, and I don't want to hear it for the 500th time. All right. I don't want to tune into a video and the video be, guess what Tom Cruise did now? And you tune in and you go, hey, did you know on one day Tom wore the same pair of socks for 2 days? What does that got to do with any of what we're doing or talking about? Why is that even a topic for a discussion? That's how I feel about a lot of these. When Tommy and Johnny and all that to me actually it ticks me off. Let's see. I agree with you, Miss Sunrise Dawn. I agree with you about Marilyn and Duncan. They are amazing people. Absolutely. Anybody who knows Marilyn and Duncan knows that not only are they good people, but they are honest people and they really care. They both were in a cult that just absolutely was a horrible thing, a horrible group that they were in. They got out because of their love for each other and their love for their children. And so you have, you know, they have the aspects. Just because they weren't in Scientology doesn't mean they don't know what it's like. They know what it's like. And that's like other people that I talked to that were in Jehovah's Witnesses or some of the other cult organizations. And it doesn't just have to be a religious organization, multi-level marketing cults. There are those out there. There are yoga. Why is it so many cults start off with yoga? That's something I'd like to know. There are cults within the Christian community, as Marilyn and Duncan can tell you about. So just because they weren't in Scientology, and that's another thing I hear a lot of people say, well, you weren't in Scientology, you don't know what it's like. If you were in a cult, then you know what cult life is like. just because it was a different thing. So you're eating corn and beans instead of beans and rice. That doesn't mean that you haven't experienced the same kind of detriments that happen when you're in an organization like Scientology. So, again, that's people coming out and attacking Marilyn and Duncan. You don't know these people. You really should get to know them. Janie Painter as a Never in Maryland is a breath of fresh air. I love watching her and Natalie, of course, Aaron and you. Thank you so much, Janine. And and that's another thing is, and that's one of the things I love seeing is Maryland takes a lot of people on who don't have a big YouTube channel, things like that. And I can tell you personally, when I have wanted to talk to people about coming on to be interviewed, and normally it's the non-Scientology people that are, it's people like stand-up comedians, actors, musicians, things like that. When I try to talk to them and I want to try to have a nice interview with them, one of the things that I can't tell you how many times I've gotten emails back saying, if you had a bigger channel, we would be interested. That's why if someone on a smaller channel would like to bring me on or something like that, I try to make it happen if I can fit it in my schedule. And Marilyn brings a lot of people on her channel and tries to give them a leg up as well, getting them on there, because not only is she trying to help them, but she also has a way of just bringing out entertaining stuff with people. Chad, what do you think about that? Marilyn.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely agree. Marilyn's a great person. Anyone that attacks her, I consider it a personal attack on myself.
Yeah, that's how a lot of us feel. A lot of people look at her and call her the mama bear, but in all actuality, a lot of us feel very protective as well. And if you didn't notice, folks, in the I added a new emoji today. We got the Roscoe approves emoji. So if I give, it's because I want to help whoever continue what they are doing and paying their bills. Absolutely. I don't, there are a lot of people who just don't have the financial means. All right. I don't want you doing a super chat. I don't want you, buying the super stickers, those kinds of things, if you don't have the means. All right. Yes, I'm on a pension. And yes, it's I have a static income. But the fact is, we are doing fine, folks. So if you can't do a super chat, don't do a super chat. If you don't have the money to give on a chat-a-thon or a fundraiser, don't do it. Be there and show your support clicking that like button. Those are the kinds of things. I don't want to see a single person putting money out that they don't need to be putting that money out. To me, that's more hurtful to see someone put themselves in a situation where they can't afford it. I would rather see you hit that like button than, spend money that you don't have. Let's see here. I'm trying to look. Let's see here. Scientology off the rails. They put celebrity names in the video titles to continue to discuss them. Why? To get clicks? DNV, as I said at the beginning of it, this was originally going to be for Liz. Liz has not been feeling very well. So she wasn't going to be able to make it on tonight, and we had to, last minute we had to change it up. And quite honestly, this is something that's been weighing on my mind about the fact that we have a lot of division going on. So that's what's going on with that. That's why the thumbnail was changed this morning. And we had a lot of people lined up that were going to come on, and had to go around and tell them, hey, sorry, but this isn't going to happen today. So that's what's going on with that. And I apologize at the beginning of it. But this is something that we can't control. This isn't edited content. So we can't just go back and change things out. We have to go roll with what we got. The inappropriate heifer, the nerve of them to say that we aren't doing the work while they are celebrity obsessed. They need to focus on more on the real victims. Amen, sister. What do you think, Chad?
I agree.
Let's see here. Aaron reported COS lost their anti-slap petition in court yesterday. Bixler and the other Jane Does. Yeah, there's a lot going on with that. Normally, I will leave the discussions about the legal side of it, the actual court cases and things like that. I'm gonna leave that to someone like Zach Morgan, Aaron, especially Zach, because he is an attorney. He is a licensed attorney, practicing attorney, so he knows more about these laws than I do. I know more of the criminal side. Chad, what about you?
Oh, if you ever want Poe, I'm sure Frank Abadeo can clear up the law stuff. If you ever want him to come on, he'd be, we could set that up someday.
Constance June, Lisa painting the Lisa McPherson brick is one of my favorite STV moments. Absolutely. I thought that was really cool. And what was really cool for me, and hopefully Chad, it was a cool moment for you as well, was when we were down in Clearwater and Lori Plays and Farrell Sherrill took us over and actually showed us the Lisa McPherson brick. That was pretty touching. What'd you think?
It was. I agree. It really was.
I need to get hold of Chad. Of Aaron, because I want to find out if they're still selling those bricks. If they are, I'd like to have one done up that says Xenu. Let's see here. Stasha Floney Marilyn is like one of my best friends. She's so bubbly, sweet, and wonderful. Anyone who talks ish about her is inhuman. I can't argue that. I can't, not in the least bit. Let's see here. Dreamscape. There was never a popularity competition until Render started one. I think that's a pretty fair statement there. That's the thing. Like I said, Aaron has done a lot to help out other channels and has done a lot to help out other people in building things up. And he's done a lot on the side that no one even knows about in helping people who have escaped Scientology. But I'm looking at a comment that was made that made me chuckle. But the thing is that he's helping people on so many levels, and he doesn't deserve the kind of crap that's being thrown on him. Let's see here. Poe, I am more on the criminal side, but not from your point of view. That's awesome. Inappropriate effort. Oh, what Lori? Let's see. Someone said, Lori, is it really? Lori, what you done did said. Let's see here. Oh, there's a lot of Lori. Exactly. Oh, there we go. The new foundation website is live, everyone. I was wondering about that, if it had been as of yet or not. The thing is that Aaron's been really, really busy, and I understand exactly why. I didn't know. I was talking to Marilyn about it this morning. I didn't know if they had gone live or not. That was another thing is that Aaron was the one through his new foundation guaranteed Liz she was going to get the money for her thing. And a lot of people are like, why are you holding it back? Well, it's because, number one, I didn't know if the foundation was actually paying for it, if Aaron was paying out of his pocket to get it done, or what was going on with that. And that's why I was going to have Liz actually talk about it. So, Chad, you know that the website was up and running?
I didn't until just now. No.
Well, Laura or Miss Sunrise Dawn. I don't know if I saw Gary in here or not. Can you guys see if you can find that and throw the link in for that for the foundation's website? I'll take a look myself. Mischief Manage. I wish he would keep in mind that many of us never ends have experienced trauma, even though we aren't recovering cult members, and are reacting very poorly to this attack strategy. I think that some folks that do these kinds of things, it doesn't matter to them. I really don't. I think that what is important to them is they think that they are doing what? Did I miss one? Oh, okay. My mods will get it if we got a troll in here. They're pretty good about that stuff. Let's see here. I'm just trying to get down through here. Chad, what is new with the Chadwick?
Oh, just what everyone knows, that we went to Florida last week and had a great time. I already want to go back. That's about it.
Absolutely, yeah. gotta get the money, gotta get the money back up for doing that. You know, and then I've got L.A., Denver, Portland, Chicago, Columbus, Ohio. There's, you know, so many different orgs I want to hit there. I know people who live in Ohio that, you know, we can either try to do Columbus, try to do Cincinnati, or we can even try to get over and hit like Pittsburgh or something like that. And that'd be another one, Chad. That wouldn't be too far from you, is to go to the Philadelphia org.
Yeah,
So
Philadelphia, Ohio. Yep. Yep,
hey, Carrie Ann, I can't believe they had that video live for either a week or a month and didn't get a hint to cut the last 3 to. Oh my gosh, the in that last section where they were talking about what people might do to how people feel about Mike and all that, and using that word. I mean, that did you know about that, Chad?
No.
There was a word, LYNCHING.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that word was actually said in there. They're going to you, and or they want to you. That so offensive, and it still rings very true in many people's hearts of how offensive that word alone is in this day and age. I couldn't believe that. Talk about being out of touch. Lori Place, they weren't going to announce it just yet, but people are finding it and donating. So Aaron said we can go ahead and share the news. Oh, excellent. And remember, Lori's down there in Florida. She does a ton of stuff over there with Aaron and those guys doing the live streams around Flag and the Fort Harrison. She has more contact with Aaron than most of us do. So she'd be one who would be in the know. Gary Mackey, thank you for that super chat. A new small channel that I enjoy is But First Coffee. I saw some content from But First Coffee. Show her some support. Also, SPTV is giving and forgiving. Is a giving and forgiving bunch. Mike Renner just shut up and apologize. We'll bring you back in. Hashtag retire Zach. Yeah. And if you want to go, Gary, go ahead and put Susie's link in for hers. I'm always willing to help out other channels, and small or not, let's go ahead and give them some love. Dreamer Wars. How many people are terrified of clowns? Dreamer. Oh my gosh. I'm not. I'm tough. I didn't close my eyes at all in it. The Aftermath Foundation did a lot for a lot of people while Aaron was the vice president, but since he was sacked, the Aftermath Foundation seems to be more interested in attacking the victims. A lot of agreement with a lot of stuff like that. Let's see what was. I'll check that in a second. If R is so butthurt, why couldn't he just suck it up and endure like everyone else does in life and not cause more pain to others? That I absolutely agree with. That is the simple fact that everything that you say, everything you do, not only reflects on you, but it reflects on the foundation itself. And to sit there and to just continue with these things, like I said last night, a lot of this feels so much like it's being whitewashed. And then that interview last night seems a whole lot like, instead of it being an actual interview, it seemed like it was more like two buddies that were rehearsing for something, and it was scripted. That was the feeling that I got from it, and I found it quite insulting. Let's see. Wow, I never creepy old lady in Render's book. He says, then Lisa McPherson left. No mention of not giving her food and water. That's I think that's a very important part. I think that, I was talking about it last night when during that interview with John Atack was the whole point of I was, everyone says I should have known this or I should have known that. But the fact is that I was working the Lisa McPherson situation. And I made the point of, wasn't the goal of Scientology to get everyone to ignore the Lisa McPherson situation? So what were you doing that you were so concentrated on Lisa McPherson? And if you were, what are the things that we know that just haven't been able to be pushed forward through any kind of investigation? You know, why aren't you, are you now, have you made contact with the police and said, hey, look, she wasn't fed, she wasn't given anything to drink, she had no fluids, she was suffering from some kind of mental anguish? Have you gone to the police to talk about that? All right. The comment about why would you fight to end statutes of limitations, that would be irrational. To me, what would be irrational is sitting there trying to say that the proof that you weren't involved or knew what was going on in other cases because you were focusing on this case. It's irrational that you would use that as your out as to why you couldn't have known about the other things. DMV 83. What's going on here with this? That was an actual comment that was made at the end of that interview, where they said people would want to, or people want to, or something like that.
Yeah, Poe didn't say that.
No, I didn't call for anyone to do that to him. Please, you know, if you ask, don't just make comments. All right. No, I didn't say people were saying that. I said they were saying that, you know, and that's, you know, so please, you know, if I said something and I said something that was wrong, I'll admit to it. But the fact is, I wasn't saying that that's what people are saying they're going to do. I was commenting on the fact that that's what they said in that interview at the end. And if you don't believe me, you can go and listen to, I believe it's the last 4 minutes or 7 minutes of that interview is where that's said. But please don't put words in my mouth that I didn't say. All right. Inappropriate heifer. I'm just going to say it. Render, ATAC, you're too old to be in this game anymore. The cycle has come full circle and you're acting like children again. Well, you know, I mean, honestly, we got grandma who was in it. We got the mama who's in it. And I'm 55 years old. I'm no spring chicken either. You know, the thing is that I'm, you know, I don't think that age really is the problem. I think it's whether or not you are aware of what year it is. If you're not aware of saying something that's insensitive, whether or not you're aware of what your actions are doing, I think those things play into it. But there's a lot of people who are way older than me that are a lot smarter and a lot more active than I am. I mean, look at Chad. Chad is 74 years old and people don't even know it. They wouldn't know it if he didn't color that hair. So
that's true, Poe.
Kareen C, I'll say it again. Aaron gave Mr. Render a job when he left Scientology and helped with his channel. And you know, and that was the thing. Who was a bigger cheerleader for the fact that Mike was coming to SBTV? Aaron was one of the biggest ones out there. I've said it myself. I was ecstatic when when we found out he was coming. I was so happy about that. Canadian girl. Oh my gosh. Is that a Yorkie? You see that, Chad?
Oh yeah,
baby in the thumbnail.
Dog, yep.
Oh my gosh, we had a Yorkie, a Jazz. Oh man, my wife loves Yorkies. It's odd that Render told the FBI everything he knew, and it didn't result in a single charge after decades in OSA. A lot of it is how old were the records that were turned over? How old was the information that was turned over? That can have a lot to do with some of it. Plus, I mean, we all know, we've heard Aaron talking about it, about the fact that when they're, you know, when these documents were turned over, if you literally didn't have basically a Rosetta Stone of it, you couldn't understand a lot of what was going on with it. And then Render himself, I believe in the interview with ATAC, was talking about a lot of it has to do with financial things and stuff like that, that really had little to do with any kind of directives or tech or anything like that. So, I mean, how much of it was even relevant? How much of it was readable? And how much of it was useful for anything? So that has a lot to do with those things. Norman Otkin, hey Norman, she was DOA to Port Richey Hospital where Scientology doctor worked. And was it not my understanding that, if I'm wrong, let me know. But my understanding was the doctor that she was that was taking care of, she had a doctor that was actually been looking at her. And one of the statements made was that she was not having some kind of psychological or mental attack going on, that it was something else. And then that was proven through the autopsy that never even was there. And that's okay. 1983. I'm, as usual, I'm still a bit fired up from last night, and I apologize if I came off a bit strong, but sometimes we get trolls in here and we don't know who the trolls are and who they aren't. Kim Gaines been thinking the same thing. So trying to cover up the Lisa McPherson situation was good. Mm-hmm. Low replays, know what you're saying. That was from John Atak's mouth to Mike Render. Sheesh. Yeah. I mean, that's what do you think about Chad? Did you see the interview with Atak and Render?
I've seen a little bit of it.
Did you? What'd you think about it?
Like you said, it just seemed like two guys chatting. It didn't seem like they were covering any hard issues.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, Colonel Brock.
Yeah, true.
How much is OSA loving all of this? Let me tell you something. Every time that there is some kind of division, there is argument or something like that that's going on within the SPTV community, they're happy. Why are they happy? Because instead of focusing on Scientology and what they're doing, they think that we're just focusing on ourselves. But if you'll notice, each and every one of us are still putting content out going against Scientology. So, they can be as happy as they want to, but I'm going to keep plugging forward with, even if I'm upset with what's going on in the Render Miriam situation, if I'm upset about other situations, I'm always going to bring it back around one way or another into how Scientology is the main reason these things are happening in the first place. Blackmail, if he was in charge of Lisa McPherson, can he deny or confirm if the coroner was fair gamed? Oh, yeah, that's a real good question. A lot of people haven't talked about that as well. Let's see. Sir Crepidus says, anyone know if I elect to post my name when I donate to SPTV Foundation, will it show my email too? That would be something. Yeah, I don't know. Let that would be something for Aaron, and maybe Lori might know. Some of the other folks. I'm not involved with the SPTV Foundation. I'm a huge supporter. And let me say this now. I've been waiting to say this so long in so many of my videos since all this garbage started. Folks, if you are in Scientology and you are looking for a way out, the SPTV Foundation is there to help you. They are there to help you get back on your feet, hopefully get you some kind of training if you need some kind of assistance with a social worker, someone that's going to help you out with some of the trauma that you've experienced in it. The SPTV Foundation is there to help you, whether you want to be someone who engages with YouTube stuff or not. If you want to be, you want to come in anonymously and come out of Scientology and you want to make your way into the world, this is the organization to talk to. So make sure you look it up. Hopefully my mods are going to be able to get the link in there. If not, you'll be able to do a Google search for the SPTV Foundation. And hopefully we can, if you are wanting to get out, you'll be able to get out. You'll be able to get your feet on the ground. And there we go. SPTVfoundation.org. Give me 1 second here. I know my mods have probably put it up there for me, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it up there too. Here it is. Make sure you check out the SPTV Foundation. The big thing about it is that we just want you to realize that we are here for you. We want to see you get on your feet. We want to see you be able to get into the rest of your life living free without this cult weighing down on your shoulders. Let's see here. I saw something from Dustin in here. There we go. Dustin Fountain Avenue. I am thankful to all the creators who read and talk with the chat. I am also thankful for the chat to talk to me. When the chat interacted with me, I tentatively tend to stream longer. So chat is great. Chat is awesome. Last night some folks were like, man, why didn't you keep that going? I could have kept going with it, but I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to make you sit through 3 hours of listening to me talk. I love the interaction, but I also don't want to eat up all of your life on things. That's why I schedule my streams pretty much the same time. There's a couple times where I'm going to be coming in a little bit earlier, a little bit later, and that's due to where the people who are going to be coming on my live streams are from. And I just want to make sure that if someone agrees to be on my stream and they're like, well, I live in Australia or I live in the United Kingdom, those are things I'm going to take into account. And I want to do it in a way that it helps them out. I don't want them putting themselves out to be on my channel. Let's see. Janet Rexford, creators comment about Mike, but still take care of business. Absolutely. That's what we do. Yeah, folks, if you can, please hit that like button. That absolutely helps with the algorithms, and it really helps us out a lot. Let me get down here. And as always, I am so far behind the daggone chat there. And oh man, I still love that little thing. Rabbit said it perfectly today. The reason Mike and John are out of touch, old, and probably need to leave is due to the immature emotional and intelligence. Grow up mentally, gentlemen. I think that's right. I have to agree with that. Let's see here. Sir Crepitus, I have a large amount I want to donate. I want OSA to know who donated. Screw those goons. You know what? Get in touch with Aaron, and I bet you tell Aaron, hey, I want OSA to know who gave this money. He'll do it. I'm pretty sure he will. Especially if you tell him, I want OSA, I want Scientology to know who's giving this money. Let's see. Okay. That was someone thinking someone else in the chat. There we go. Miss Sunrise Dawn. Cheers for the SBTV Foundation, sbtvfoundation.org. Let's get them down here. Jennifer Miller. It isn't a surprise that Mike Renner and John Atack are low in emotional intelligence. The whole point of going clear is suppressing emotions and normal reactions. Absolutely. Chad, that's something that gets me is, when I see these folks who are former Scientologists, some of them, especially those who've been in for a long, long time, I'm talking about growing up in Scientology and then continuing into their adulthood quite a ways into it. There seems to be a lot of that lack of a emotional understanding, empathy, and the want to help each other, and it actually feel like it's true. What do you think about that?
I agree with you, Poe, but I think it's unfortunate because it's like we said, is it their fault? Is it not their fault? We kind of feel bad for them. It takes time to kind of deprogram and
Oh yeah. Hey Chad, hear this for 1 second. I gotta go get Roscoe away from the door. He's clawing.
Oh, okay. No problem, Poe.
Be right back.
Yeah.
Well,
so how's everyone doing tonight? Am I right? It's great to be here, of course. And like I said, we had a lot of fun in Clearwater. I already want to go back. I'm looking at the chat here. And that's good. Everyone, you're good. Yeah, I met Poe in person at his house, and Roscoe. Roscoe's a good dog. He's real high energy. Met Poe's wife, and Poe took me around Michigan a little bit, and we had a lot of fun the whole trip. It was like being with a police officer. Poe works the beat. You know what I mean?
That wild animal of mine. Well, I'll tell you what, he'll claw through the door if I don't stop him. Let's see here. Thank you, Chad. JD, Render can't recognize his part in this yet, but I have hope Miriam has our support. Absolutely. And like I said, I've been in contact with Miriam. She's doing really good. She seems great. and she's just waiting to get her DSR treatment done. So it's awesome. Debbie Green, oh, nice pair of kitties there. Lisa McPherson, there's no statutes of limitations on the unlawful taking of another's life. Absolutely. Reason I'm not saying some of these word folks is because YouTube will flag them and I will get a whooping. So Grandma Matilda, Poe and Chad, the dynamic duo, welcome back, Grandma. Let's see. Stooky Six. If you're in another cult, there's a way out in sports out here too. Absolutely, and thank you for bringing that up. That's one of the things I should be also saying is that it's not just if you're in Scientology, but if you are involved in another cult and you're wanting to get your way out, there are a lot of foundations out there. And folks, if you would email me at email me, let me know about the other foundations that are out there for other cults or just for people who are surviving cults in general. I think there's probably foundations out there for Jehovah's Witnesses and others as well. Auntie Jan, she says, hi, Chad, mods, Laura, and chat. Hope all is well with everyone. I'm doing great tonight. Thank you. Let's see here. Get on down here because I'm behind. Tess, I wonder if the reason he's only just released his book was because of the statutes of limitations on some of the things he wrote about, like Lisa McPherson court case. Well, if Lisa McPherson's was to be turned over and deemed something other than what it was, and to be an actual criminal taking of a life, then there shouldn't be any statute of limitations that I know of on it. Of course, like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not a legal expert. I'm a retired police officer who's held pretty much every position you can hold in law enforcement, from probationary patrol officer all the way up to chief of police. I was a detective and a detective sergeant at points in my career. And I can tell you that, from my experience here in Michigan, there shouldn't be no statute of limitations. How many times you have 20-year-old cases where they're coming back and people are being found guilty? And something I'm really glad about is like the DNA foundations now that are going through and finding people who have been convicted of SA. They're actually proving that these people were never involved in the first place. And that I think that is fantastic as well. There's a lot that needs to be changed in our criminal justice system. Don't get me wrong. I worked in it for a long enough time, but I also realize that if there is something wrong, it needs to be addressed. Folks, thank you, Laura. Laura gifted 5 memberships. If you are lucky enough to get one of those memberships, make sure you are showing your thanks to Aaron. Dreamer Wars. Aaron used to defend Mike Render and didn't let anyone say anything negative about him, but Mike Render stabbed him in the back, so Aaron gave the green light to say what we held back for ages. Best decision ever. I kind of disagree with that. The thing is that Aaron's never told me I couldn't say something bad about him. He's never tried to stop me. And that's the thing is that, but yeah, he's always been trying to be supportive, and he's always seemed like he's looked up to Mike Render. But the fact is that he's never told me, and I personally don't know anyone who was told that they couldn't say it. But if you did, then it's quite possible. I'm not there 24 hours a day. I couldn't say what anyone says, but I can tell you he's never asked me not to say negative things. Colonel Brock, this is my fur girl, Moo Moo. That's a pretty little girl right there. Let's see here. Pup Groomer 20 tuning in late on replay. I just saw who's on the board and I want to cry. This is amazing. So yeah, let's take a look while we're here. Let's go to about, and I'm going to go ahead and pull it and bring this up on my screen so we can talk about it. And this goes into a lot of the division and fighting. This is something that hopefully we can all get behind. And it says our team is comprised of former Scientologists and advocates who uniquely understand the challenges of finding solid ground after leaving Scientology. Founded by Aaron Smith Levin in 2024, the foundation represents a diverse group of individuals affiliated with SPTV. SPTV is a community of YouTubers dedicated to raising awareness about Scientology and highlighting its nuanced experiences and abuses. That's pretty well said. Let's look who's on the, let's see. Aaron Smith Levin, president. Christy Gordon is the treasurer. Mike Brown is the secretary. Zach Morgan is a board member. Serge Del Mar Here we have Zach is a never end. That's awesome to see. Let's see. We have Jenna Miscavige, Liz Gale, Dylan Gill, George LaBanca, Natalie Webster, Sterling Tompkins, Reese Quibble. I don't want to make sure I didn't miss anybody, but that is the board. Breaking down from the president, treasurer, secretary, and then down to the board members. Tell me that's not an awesome group of people right there, folks. That's pretty cool. Let's see, donate. Let's see, we leave Scientology. When people leave Scientology, they often find themselves without a support system. Due to Scientology's policy of disconnection, individuals leaving the organization are cut off from their family, friends, and essentially everyone they have known for the vast majority of their life. Scientology has staff dedicated to monitoring these connections closely, even policing social media and encouraging members to report on others, lest they too get into trouble.
Wow.
Because of this disconnection policy, it can be difficult for individuals to find work, housing, healing, and a community. After a lifetime of trauma and indoctrination, it often takes time to adjust to the mainstream society while processing everything they have been through and rethinking concepts they have believed to be true in their entire lives. That's awesome. I'm getting down here trying to find out. Would you like to leave it shows here different amounts that you can donate. Ask if you would like to leave a note, and it says right here, post my name, post my donation amount. Well, you know what, let me go ahead and I'm going to throw $10 in myself. Why isn't it? It may not let you do it just yet. Okay, but I'll talk to Aaron and see what's going on with that. I was going to go ahead and do it now, but you know what? I'll always be able to get there. Let's see here. People would start talking about Mike Render if he stopped doing stupid, ego-driven ish. Yep, I was talking about that last night. That's exactly how I feel. Susan P, thank you for including everyone. Absolutely. It doesn't matter. I'm a never end. Chad is a never end. So the thing is that how can I sit here and go, if you're not part of Scientology, you're nothing to me? No, I can't do that because I wasn't part of Scientology. Chad, how do you feel about that?
I agree 100%, Paul.
Yeah, all are welcome. Laura Flynn, I am looking forward to a coordinated fundraising channel-a-thon for the new foundation. Set up streams all day. Chad and I were talking about this, and I've actually talked to Aaron about it, and I've talked to a few other people, and I feel a big chat-a-thon coming on.
Absolutely.
So, question: Why should we care what OSA thinks? It's not a matter of caring what they think, unless it comes to the fact that they realize that they're not going to be able to do anything to us, or the fact that they know that I'm donating to the SPTV Foundation. I want them to know that. All right. You done sent people out to my house. You done sent people to follow me. You had people following me and Chad in Clearwater. You had people going through my mailbox. You had people emailing my former employer and former police departments that I worked for, wanting to file freedom of information requests on me. I want you to know what I'm doing. All right. That way you don't have to waste your time sending the PIs out here, which, by the way, are these professional private investigators? Because if they are, I'm a bit insulted that you sent them after me. Come on. You don't scare me. Okay. Just face it. You don't scare me. I don't threaten. I don't back down. Okay. It's that simple. You send two people to try to follow me and Chad from the Fort Harrison and Flag in Clearwater, and they couldn't even be behind us 10 minutes without us realizing that we're being followed. What kind of professionals are you hiring? Come on now. Chad will tell you, I actually slowed down and stopped at one point so they could catch up with us.
Yep.
So, yeah, I want you to know I'm not scared. You're not intimidating me. Ooh, Jennifer, nice picture. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Oh, what did Rabbit say? I didn't see it. I'm jumping through things so quickly here because I get so far behind because I get to talking because I'm just a little chat box sometimes. Let's see here. Where are we at? Did you see the comment from Rabbit?
No, no,
I didn't either.
no. I've been looking too. I haven't seen
They might have been talking about from one of Rabbit's lives. Fluffer Squirrel UK. I like that. You can add your name to be public when donating. Yeah, I just, that was pretty cool, wasn't it? Let's see here. Joe McCoy. My cats are worried that Poe missed the comment from my uncle Dudley. So unless you need manure for your garden, stop talking ish. Absolutely. Let's see. Poe, did you see my update about my cat Gizmo? No. What's up with Gizmo? The one that's sick. How's Gizmo doing? I honestly care. I don't want to see our fur babies in pain. I found most every channel through Aaron. That's from Mary Heischer. And absolutely, I've said, how many times have I said it, folks? I've said it a dozen times, if not a single time, that most of us wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Aaron. A lot of these channels wouldn't be up and running without Aaron's support. So give him all the support you can. Auntie Jan, the comments were slamming the interview. John Atack was also insinuating there were harder questions coming in other interviews with Mike Rinder. I would be interested in seeing it because when you sit there and you go, hey, this is the 13th time we've sat down and had a conversation. At what point are these hard questions going to come out? At what point? If they haven't come out in the 12 previous conversations, I mean, how long are you going to wait? I mean, that's a heck of a cliffhanger you got going on there. So I don't know, Chad. Do you think it's going to come out?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, Poe. It'll be interesting.
Absolutely. Sir Crepitus, Chad, if you ever come to LA, you got to let me buy you a beer. Poe can have a coffee. Absolutely. Sir Crepitus knows I don't drink, but absolutely. I will be more than happy to meet up with you. And Chad, what about you?
Oh, absolutely. That'll be great.
But you know what? I will say this. The one thing that I will drink that is alcohol based, and I mean literally I went an entire year without having a drink of alcohol, and it's not because any addiction problems. It's simply I stopped when my children were born. I stopped drinking alcohol because I never wanted my children to see me in a state where I'm not in control. I never wanted my children to see me in a position where they could lose any respect for their father. So I stopped drinking alcohol, and very, very, if I have one drink a year, that's a lot for me. And I just lost the taste for alcohol. That's just it. But the one thing that I will not turn down is a proper poured pint of Guinness in either the UK, Ireland, or Scotland. That's one I won't turn down. Dreamer Wars, you can take a man out of Osa, but you can't take Osa out of a man. Render still fair games, everyone. And that's the thing. But I think that the constant bringing up of down the rabbit hole, Alex, and the talking about her is, Alex didn't bring this on hardcore till the letter came back. Alex was literally doing what any one of us would be doing. They're forwarding a list of questions that someone that they are in contact with, and they're trying to help. And if you sit there, you come back and you come at me and you say the kind of things that were said to Alex, I'm going to come back after you as well. And I'm going to come back hard. I mean, I haven't come back hard yet. I could really come back hard. And I'm waiting for these receipts to get in. And once these receipts come in, I'm going to come out with receipts, and I'm going to lay it right there on the table. Put my cards down and see if you're bluffing. That's how I feel about it. All right. But to keep going after Rabbit, I think is absolutely ridiculous. So Amber Vanace, come on. I have been out for a long time, but sometimes I catch myself thinking like a Scientologist. I think it's hard to get deprogrammed. Absolutely. I was talking about that last night on my live, where I was talking about the fact that as a former military person and a former law enforcement person, there's a lot of vernacular and there is a lot of nomenclature that you use both in the military and in law enforcement that I've carried over into my personal life. And it's just I will do that till the day I die. I know a lot of folks that are former military people do the same thing. Um, I think she's talking about you, Chad. I'm back, Poe. You're burning the biscuits tonight. They're burning my biscuits with the way
Oh,
they're acting. What about you, Chad? How you feeling tonight?
yeah, I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I'm sorry, but I'm still worked up over last night. I'm still worked up over that interview. I did just. Ooh. And a banana 1701A, Mrs. Mike Render just has a problem with honesty, in my opinion. A lot of people feel that way. I think there's I think that there's a real problem with transparency. That's what I think. I boycott all cults and don't watch movies with Scientologists. Thank you, at Laura. Um, I'll be honest with you. When Maverick came out, I watched it and I actually liked it. I don't like him. I don't like his attitude. I don't like the way he does things. But I grew up when the original. I was young. I was a teenager when the original Top Gun came out. Saw it at the theaters, and we were all just like, "Oh man, I got to join the Navy right away because I want to be a naval pilot." What about you, Chad?
Yeah, I don't know if we need any more Top Gun movies, Poe. I think that's been done enough, in my opinion.
I agree, but did you have that same feeling when the original came out? You were like, "Man, I can't wait to join the Navy."
I never really watched the Top Guns. I watched that one movie in the '90s. He's in when with that one line he said, "You had me at hello." That was a good movie.
I don't remember that. Honestly haven't seen a lot of his movies. I've seen like Top Gun. I watched like one of the Mission Impossible movies, and the reason I like those is because Simon Pegg's in some of them.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, the Jack Reacher movies. But then when I saw the Jack Reacher television show, that's nothing but hatred on police, because it seems like almost every episode is based around law enforcement that's bad and how Jack Reacher is the only answer for everything. I think that when it was if you had someone who was the same build as Tom, the same height and weight doing that as compared to that big muscle bound guy that's doing the new Jack Reacher television show, I would think it's interesting. If you stop spending all your time just proving how bad police is in fictional situations, I might be interested in it, but I can only watch so much of it. It's like watching NCIS or any of those other things. I don't like them because of the fact that it's so far from reality. So have you seen any of that? Did you see any of the Jack Reachers?
No, those I haven't seen.
Man, I gotta get you a Netflix subscription. There's a lot. Have you just watched the John Wick movies?
No, Paul, I only watched Knight Rider.
Oh my goodness, you haven't seen John Wick?
No.
Oh my gosh, John Wick. I love John Wick. Janet McClellan. Mike Render even tried to bring Mike Brown down. I'm British, and I think Mike Brown is a gentleman and only tried to ever giving friend advice. And I talked about that last night, about the simple fact that he and Laura FM had those two different discussions about life in Scientology, and Mike Brown and the perception, of what happened between he and Laura FM. And in all honesty, that was one of the most stand-up conversations I've ever seen in my life. And I gained so much respect for both of them. Mike Brown for standing up and not hiding from anything, saying, yeah, this is what happened. I am sorry, and taking his lickings for it, and just being that stand-up person. I grew so much respect for Mike Brown out of those conversations. And then when I see how he's treating his mother, what he's doing for his mother, I talk to my mom almost every day of the week. So I know what it feels like to want to take care of your mother. Even though I've got a mother who's like me, got a thick gourd and doesn't always listen to advice. I don't know anything. How could I ever tell her anything? You know how that is. But the fact is that I understand, and I have so much respect for him, both him and Laura. Lisa Robinson. Ooh, look at that lab. I love these board members, and I follow all of them. Absolutely. Anyone, if they don't have a channel, hopefully they get one. And all of them that have channels, make sure you're getting over there and you're liking and subscribing on their channels. Oh, look at that poodle. Casey, don't think Aaron gave the green light. Instead, he mentioned in a video that he was no longer going to actively hold people back. He was not going to try to convince people like Serge to be quiet anymore. See, I didn't know about anything with Serge or any of those. I can just tell you that anytime I've had anything negative to say, Aaron's never asked me to be quiet about anything. Aaron's been pretty good about, speak your truth. Let's see here. Dream Wars, they have my 100% support from day one. I follow most of these board members because they are nice people. Not just nice people, they're good people. And I agree with you. I'm not arguing with you on that. I'm just saying that they're not just, they're not just nice people. They are good people with good hearts. Chad and I met Jenna Miscavige down in Clearwater. What were your thoughts of Jenna?
Oh, she was same thing. Very nice person, just like on TV.
Yeah, I think that when you look at her, you think she's a very small, very delicate looking person, almost frail, but you talk to her and she has confidence. She's a strong person. And that was one of the things that really impressed me about her is there's more than looks, there's more than what you see. There's a depth of a person in there. And it was really nice meeting her. And she was very personable. Let's see. It's me, Jane. Oh, got the plaid shirt on. Mischief, I've never seen SNL ever. Really? You've never seen Saturday Night Live? Oh man, back during the Chevy Chase and the John Belushi and the Dan Aykroyd days. That I love that. Oh, there's better things to do. Back then it was great. And do you remember any of those, Chad?
Oh, I love Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, I haven't watched it in probably 10, 15 years. But I love Norm Macdonald on there. I thought Norm Macdonald was hilarious.
He's great when he did Bill Clinton.
Yeah, and who was the guy who was in Tommy Boy with David Spade?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Chris Farley.
When he was on there, I absolutely loved him. Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of David Spade. So, Anna, Mike did it to help Laura heal. He didn't minimize her feelings. He didn't make snarky comments. He listened to her. He gave her some information that she was not aware of with grace and compassion. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Mike Render, and I was like, what? But yeah, I understand with Mike Brown, and I hope that you all saw it the same way I did. I got nothing but respect for Mike out of that whole thing. Hey, Sharifa's here. How are we feeling tonight, Sharifa? And folks, if you got a membership gifted to you by Sharifa, make sure, please let her know that you really appreciate it. Sharifa has been having some health issues, and I'm just happy to see that, she's still getting in here. She doesn't have to do these gift memberships, but she does it pretty much every time she comes in. And Sharifa is a member of the family here. I've talked to her through messaging services. Just a really nice person, someone I actually consider a friend. Ozzy, oi, 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 Marie. These kids just want to know, Mike, what did you do? Not what you didn't do. Ozzy, help and support their mates, not just profit from them. Sad Ozzy. For the longest time, I thought that Render was, for some reason, someone had made me believe Render was South African. I don't know where that came from, but yeah. Polar, if you're just here to troll, do it good. Okay? Just do it good. All right? Never manipulates or lies. He straight up calls women C-word like it should be, right, Poe? Oh, like the polar vortex says, I should be 100% behind that. I've never said he was an angel. I've never said he was a saint, but he's always been a stand-up guy, and I have personally never heard him lie about anything. But I'm sure that you can come up with something. Why don't you give, your friends over at that other foundation or some other foundation that's out there, give them a call and see what they can come up with that you can use. So
not cool, Polar.
That's okay. Like I said, it wouldn't be alive if we didn't have someone trolling, to be honest with you. And there it is. We had that great comment from from Marie, Ozzy, 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 oi, oi, oi. And then we go right into that crap. Let's see. Joel McCoy, I see by the hands on my Mickey Mouse watch. Hey, I used to have one of those. It is time for me to read a story to the cats tonight. It's Fish Story. All right, Joel, thank you for being here with us. Let's see here. Dreamers Wars. I see Poe. I saw that video clip too. Aaron saying that he wasn't holding people back anymore. That was the best thing he did and explained why so many people are speaking up now. Be honest with you, even though I'm a fan of Aaron's channel, I can't keep up with his content. Chad, can you do it?
I can't watch every live he does every day. No.
Well, especially you work 2 jobs, so
right. Yeah.
It's me, Jane. It's me, Jane. I'm 80s. I was still skating, then got married and lived the man life. That's man, that on the road life is pretty wild. Rather be Maui. Mike Render canceling himself with his own words. He will not be able to handle the consequences. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Here's the thing is in all honesty. Oh, Chad, Polar Vortex is over on your channel now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
I was just looking at it. I was like, hey, I thought he was in here.
Behaving.
Hunter Bay, hello from snowy West Michigan. Whereabouts in snowy West Michigan are you? We got a little bit of dusting on the ground, and it's hasn't been bad. We didn't get a lot of buildup this year. Let's see. Bead to go. Love you all. See you soon. Don't feel that good. Get some sleep. Get healthy. All right. Lori. I'm not lurking, my darlings. I'm at work. Are you really not just in here lurking? It's me, Jane. It's me, Jane. Say Bob Ferris. Justice for Miriam. Say Phil Anderson. I won't stop till free. Absolutely. I agree. Let's see here. Oh, need to go. All right, Sharifa. Thank you so much, hon, for being here. We really appreciate you. You get some rest and you heal up. Let me get down here. Do you believe in souls, Polar Vortex? I mean, honestly. Yeah. Let's see here. Just trying to get down here to the bottom. Oh, I did make it to the bottom. Lizeka, I have this vision of Mike Render saying that nobody has done more for OSA than Aaron Smith-Levin. Did I imagine this? I thought I heard that at one point too. Chad, do you remember that?
I'd have to think back. I don't honestly, I don't remember him saying that, but he could have.
I thought I'd heard that too. I could be wrong, but there's so much we hear. Yeah, Susan, the Troll Patrol has been busy lately. You know me from my live streams and from what I said, I am just a soulless individual. I am human-ish. So I'm animal-ish. I'm not even good enough to be human. So, how many times have I said, don't take my word for it. All right. Look it up. Find the receipts yourself. Don't trust me. Find out for yourself. I don't know how much more I could be, honest about things like that. Oh, hell no. LOO Polar. I can turn that around to you. Do you have a soul? Okay, there you go. I didn't realize that was coming back to Polar.
The trolls, if they would at least be funny, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's something if you're going to troll folks, go right ahead and troll, but throw some comedy into it. Like at least make it entertaining.
The one when my channel started, the one troll I still remember is the funniest one. They said that me, Clearwater Chad, I was a hybrid between Elvis and Roy Orbison, Poe. I thought it was pretty
funny. Yeah, I see it. We got to get you some Elvis glasses and a Roy Orbison shirt with a tie. That's what we need to do. Yeah. Let's see here. And Mischief Managed gifted 1 membership. So if you got that membership, make sure you let Mischief know you appreciate it. But did you see who's here, Chad?
No.
Nebulous.
Oh, nice.
Welcome back, Nebulous. Let's see. Troll Patrol can't compete. Did you do that so I didn't intentionally get tongue-tied, Mona? We've got our Poe and Chad's backs. Absolutely, folks. I know that my the folks in our chat ain't gonna let this stuff play on. Poe, we all love to see you interview. We would all love to see you interview John. Sorry it won't happen. And I brought the receipts last night where I had emailed him and he told me he was he was moving away from the Scientology stuff. And, now I hear him say in the interview, that this is their 13th time. And I'm just like, when are you stepping away from Scientology? And like I said last night, if I'm not big enough to be of interest to talk to me, I'm not insulted by that. All right. I've had bigger people tell me in less friendly terms. That doesn't hurt my feelings. Just be honest with me. You're not big enough. When your channel gets to this point, come talk to me and we can talk. I would be perfectly fine with that. I don't get insulted by stuff like that because I don't come in with any premise I'm a star. I'm not on Chad's level. I don't have his kind of pull in this industry. We had one Chow Yun Smut's channel, one on Chow Yun Smut's channel the other day telling us he needed pants because he got his shredded in a paper shredder. That's awesome. Chad got his tie caught in a paper shredder the other day. That was pretty funny to watch.
That's true.
I never heard you scream like that. That was really funny though. Lucinda Ahar, I am still just a commenter. I am so sorry to hear that. I donated and bought merch. Well, thank you for that. And here's the thing is, and I've said it before, folks. I said it last night. I'll say it again tonight. There's no such thing as commenters and doers. Okay. And if you want to see just how untrue that is, Chad and I are perfect examples. We're commenters who also go out and put boots to the street. So that would make us in some other people's ways of gauging what someone does, we would be doers. All right. So we're commenters and doers, but I contest that whole thing. The whole theory of that is that commenters are doers. You're doing it. Not everybody has the ability. Chad was talking about, we were at a place called Ford's Garage, just outside of Tampa. And it was a pretty popular joint. I mean, we had to wait. What did we have to wait? Like a half hour to get in there?
Yep. Something like that.
And while we're waiting, there was an elderly lady who fell. And I went over and I went to help her up. Okay. Other people stood around and watched. And the difference is that would be doers versus commenters. But when you're in here and you're in these chats and you're in these streams and you're commenting and you're engaging in conversation with all of us, you are doing. If you are watching the content, you're hitting the like button, supporting the channels, you are doing. I don't think there's a difference between doers and commenters. Both are doing. So I don't agree with that assertion at all. Let's see. Miss Sunrise Dawn, he asked what he should do. Cricket told him turn off the shredder and step away. That's great. Hunter Bay, but you are a fair, kind, great listener and a true Michigander. But I'm getting sick and tired of the cold, Hunter. I really am. Lori, that's not an insult, Chad. Ray Romano is awesome. I thought he was pretty funny.
Yep.
Didn't you?
Yeah, I think so too.
Let's see here. Streams wouldn't last if no one chatted. Agreed, but like when we're out there doing the First Amendment auditing, like we were doing in Clearwater, I was trying to engage, but I didn't have my reading glasses on. Yes, folks, I'm that old. I need reading specs. And the fact is I couldn't see the screen half the time. I mean, my phone's this big, my monitor's this big, so there's a big difference. So most of the time you'll see me like this, trying to read things, but I didn't even have my specs down there with me. So let's see, Sir Crepitus, maybe it's just me, but someone who won't come on your show because you aren't big enough must be narcissistic. This is not about fame. It's about fighting the cult. Sir Crepitus, that is a perfect example of are we all engaging in the fight against Scientology or are we not? So if you're refusing to go on another anti-Scientologist live stream or interview with them, are you therefore not engaged in the fight against Scientology? What do you think, Chad?
Right, absolutely. I agree with you. I mean, it shouldn't matter how big or small your channel is. We're all in this together.
That was a great comment. I really like that. Thank you. Ozzy, oi, oi, oi. Thank you for that $5 super. Things changed when the kids could speak out. This is just the start. Mike Rinder can't curtail the narrative now or control the narrative now. Absolutely none of them can. They're all waist deep in it now that we're in the upper echelons of it, who aren't willing to be transparent and actually come out and face up to the things that have happened and what's going on. So I agree with that. Bat goat. Oops, I forgot to tip for your seafood dinner. Don't worry about that. I made sure that our server, and he was a good kid, real good kid. I made sure he got a good tip for that. Let's see. Grandma Matilda. Maybe Render needs a new shovel for that hole he's digging for himself. Or maybe just needs to quit digging. That might be an even better thing. So Kate D, look at that sleeping puppy. We are the boots on the ground. Where is the Aftermath Foundation? We are the grassroots, folks. It's that simple. We are the grassroots. It's me, Jane. It's me, Jay. I can't do much but donate. I would be in Chicago protesting. I could, but my sister is disabled, and it's just two of us and our dog. I wear a lot of merch. You know what you being here is doing. Okay. So, just the simple fact that you're here, the fact that you hit the like button, that you engage, to me, that is doing. Chad, what do you think about that?
Oh, I agree. It helps out big time if you're watching the stream, liking, subscribing, getting the word out.
Yeah, absolutely. Moonchild, Lisa Marie, I'm afraid to protest in Chicago, but Shannon and everyone does great. Maybe I'll go down in the summer. Nice, pretty kitty picture there. And the fact is that I agree that it looks like there's a lot of hairy stuff goes on over near the Chicago org. I would be, I'm planning on going over there and hitting Chicago as well. Hopefully Chad might be able to come over next month. The wife and I are heading over to Chad's neck of the woods because we're going over there to watch the solar eclipse. So we're going to get some content with Chad over there while we're at it. Chad's going to take us out and show us some of that great buffalo pizza and then get some wings. Oh man, I'm a dog for wings. I love them. Hey Kenneth, Mike Renner dug himself about 10 feet, dug himself down about 10 feet, then picked up a sieve and tried to get himself out. Yeah. I think that he thought he was trying to get himself out, but he ain't helping. And great picture there. Happy days. They dug their grave, watch them squirm a bit and sit back and enjoy it. Here's the thing for me is I'm not happy about the fact that they are losing support, that they are losing people. Just be open, honest, and transparent. Stop playing Scientology tactics. All right? Realize everybody makes mistakes. I make mistakes. If I'm wrong and someone points that out and I realize I'm wrong, then I am willing to accept the fact that I'm wrong. I do it right here on the stream. Many times I've done that. All right. Just be open, honest, and transparent. You just passed the Walmart where we hit at. Dustin just passed it. Hey, what concert they got going on over there, Dustin? I know you were out there last night. I tried to jump in. What concerts they got going on over there? And I want to know why the heck they're having concerts when Chad and I aren't there.
I know.
Chad'd like to see some jazz, wouldn't you?
Sure.
You know what I'd love is some blues. That'd be some good stuff. Pup groomer. That's what I keep saying. All of us are doing the work. We spend time and energy learning, education, and supporting the movement. That is work for the movement. Absolutely. And if you haven't seen it, now see, here's how it pops up in our chat. See how it says Roscoe. I can't stop posting Roscoe. See, that's what I see. I don't see that it's the new emoji I put in there for Roscoe. And Roscoe's a bigger star than I am. He's the star of the show. I'm a nobody. If you're in quicksand, you better don't flail instead of being smart about it. Yeah, you know, and the number one thing about quicksand is stop squirming. You stop going down. So, Chad, any comments or thoughts tonight?
Oh, I mean, just I had a lot of fun tonight, Paul, and we discussed a lot of good topics.
As always, you know, it's always a good thing. You know, and people have asked, you know, why I have Chad on, why he's a part of this channel. And the fact is, Chad is a friend of mine. Chad has been here since pretty much the beginning. There were a lot of Joe Bonamassa still there. You know, I wish I could be back down there and take one of my guitars over so I could see if he would accept one. But the thing is Chad has been here pretty much from the start of this stuff. He helps out quite a bit. He does a lot of stuff. If I'm getting too intense, oftentimes Chad will jump in and he'll do something that helps to lighten the mood, those kinds of things. But with the other, you know, the thing is that Chad helps and he's part of it, and he's a friend of mine. So it always makes me feel a lot more comfortable when Chad's here. Man, I know I absolutely hog the microphone. I know that. I know I just don't shut up, and that happens. But you know, I always appreciate having Chad on, and I really hope that his channel makes it to 10,000 subscribers. I would love to see that happen for Chad. You know, and then when I realize how many other channels Chad has jumped in headfirst and helping other channels out, trying to get their channels built, giving them advice, trying to do things to help them. Let's remember there's a reason why it's called a Chadathon. And it's because, you know, even though you don't see him out here doing it in the live streams and stuff like that, he's in the background doing stuff. So that's the thing. And that's why, you know, I'm always happy to have Chad on and have him part of my channel. So, folks, as always, I appreciate each and every one of you so much. You are the reason why these channels are here. Without you, we don't have channels.
Yeah.
And you know, that's important to me. You give your precious time. To me, that's doing. You're not a commenter, you're a doer. And when you join in the chat and you engage with us, that makes you part of this community. We're building, well, we have built and we are continuing to build a community where all are welcome. All right. No judgment. You know, there's, you know, unless you're in here trolling, there's no judgment. But I agree with Chad. You're going to troll, please, from now on, at least make it humorous, at least make it entertaining. Don't use the same old stuff. And folks, I appreciate each and every one of you. I thank you so much for joining me. And remember, life is short. You get one shot. Make it count.